Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Quest Finder on Evony. Today we're going to be looking at what I believe is the top archer generals to have in the game, some reasons why, whether it's easy to obtain, or just overall the best archer general if money is not a problem for you in this game. So there are two types of scenarios, in my opinion, that you will be playing Evony. One, you are free to play, which means, in my opinion, you coin very, very little. Not never, but not very often, right? You might do a triple down on a $20 pack here and there to get some stamina, but you're not a very active spender. And to be honest, sometimes that might be the more enjoyable way to play. It has a very natural flow to it. But we're going to look at what generals make the most sense for you. So we're going to go to our general rankings on our server and look at players that I would say are considered relatively free to play and what generals they choose to use. So in the top, you're going to see fully ascended generals. But in the middle, you're going to find players who, like Bayo, for example. Bayo is free to play. He is our Vietnamese player on the server. He might have a server farm of alts to play with, but that doesn't impact his generals. So we're going to look for Bayo's general. Like he has Zachary Taylor for his wall and Electra. Perfect. So it takes a while to get the Ares blood, obviously, for these generals when you're free to play. But over a long period of time, you will have enough, especially if you're playing server. So this is his natural setup. Right now, you can see he's doing all percentage refines, all that should match Archer. He should have an Archer refine right here, and he should have another Archer percent here and percent here. This will be the easy side of gear to get if you're free to play. It will take you a little while, but you will get Civ gear at some point. Left side, he has the right gear on. He probably should upgrade. Oh, wait, no, he should not upgrade these pieces. And the reason why is he's getting the extra 15% attack. He could be getting 12% more march size if he played it right. But I actually think I like his strategy of using the two types of gear or the three types of gear and getting the 15% buff attack on each event. This general right here, Electro, you can get from relics. You will find those in relics. And it makes it capable to get 5 stars. As everyone knows, it's a very difficult task and daunting at first. The next best one is probably MiniMoto. I'm looking for someone who has MiniMoto really quickly. You can see Electra is a very common play for free-to-play players, whether it's Bayo, Sandy, TC. But somebody will have Minamoto. And I would do Minamoto for the sole reason that he's easier to get. And you can get him in the tavern. It looks like no one picked him out. But Minamoto is one of the best generals from back in the day. He has a high attack, and he really balances the game for players who don't have the money to spend. And let's check this out. So now we've covered those generals. We're going to cover generals. If you had unlimited money, what would you buy? And I'm sarcastically limited, but if you were spending some money. So I'm going to go through our generals really fast. Mine, I just switched to Merlin, right? Merlin's the new goated general. He has a covenant. He has a high base, and it looks great. You know, on paper, when attacking it, it seems to be doing better. The only thing right now I'm waiting on is his covenants. So I don't have all of his covenants unlocked. I'm kind of slow rolling that. I'm not going to buy a covenant pack just to get an extra, 15% in buffs. But he is probably the number one archer general if you're pay to play. You have to get 16 copies of him, though, if you're going to 5-star him. And at this point, it's kind of going to be more difficult to get because his event has passed. The second best that I used for a long time, in my opinion, you have Marcus Agrippa in there that people would use, but I actually used Douglas for a very, very long time, almost since the inception of this server. He did amazing for me. He's strong on his buffs. He's somewhat marching focused. And he has a limitation with spiritual beasts, so he can't really be your assistant afterwards. But this guy right here will be on the Senate Hall for me soon, actually, and he probably should be now. I wish you shouldn't be rotating generals that often, in my opinion, because they're so difficult to actually perfect. The assistant general for attacking right now, I believe, is Douglas, but that needs to switch to Marcus Agrippa. And we can tell what my actual march is by going here. Let's actually see. I'm kind of blanking on it, honestly. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so Douglas is the match on this, and the issue is that the range boost is you kind of being buffed out. So I could apply something else there. Overall, it stacks well. I should get someone else here that doesn't have ascended stars, put him on the Senate, gain the extra buffs from that, and still have the specialty buffs. So I will be doing that here in the near term, probably before All Stars. And yeah, that is, in my opinion, the best Archer Generals, whether it's free to play or it's pay to play, as of June 24th, 2024. I will populate an Excel sheet here in the description that will allow you to kind of go through my current rankings and who I would pair them up with. I don't think it's necessary to have every single pairing possibility, especially if you are free to play, because there's only so many options, right? Pick MiniMoto, pick Electra. If you are pay to play, pick one of the new generals and stick with him and find a match, right? And you don't need to say, oh, well, if I switch this one general, well, I'll get extra 5%, right? I feel like you should only be switching and upgrading generals about once a year, maybe, right? Once every 6 months. And I did it about once. This is my first Archer upgrade, so it's been about a year. And that's when you see a larger uptick in ability. That's worth the return and investment. I appreciate you guys for tuning in here quickly. We'll have another video tomorrow. I'm trying to keep these short, and we'll probably go over the top cav generals and how I have my current cav generals set up. Appreciate you.